This video has a like goal. Helping this video achieve it will grant you something just as spectacular as the One Piece treasure. Full details will be at the end of the video. Hey guys, how you doing? This is Manga Section. I'm here today to bring you another One Piece What If. What if Luffy, Ace and Sabo joined under one crew part 4? Now, like always, I recommend, if you haven't seen the earlier parts, I recommend you going back and watching those parts just so you're familiar with the changes that have occurred up until now, so you're not going into things basically blind and not with any sort of confusion. But with that all said and done, let's jump into part 4. So we start things off with the crew, the new ASL pirates heading towards Syrup Village. This is Usopp's village. On the way to Syrup Village, Luffy comes across, or he sees in the distance, an island that he would like to go to. But both Ace and Sabo are telling him no. Once they have told him no, Luffy by himself tries to row the boat in the direction of this island. This is one of the reasons why Ace and Sabo didn't want to go in that way, because it wasn't within their course. Upon seeing Luffy trying to steer his way to this island, Ace hits him on the head, saying, "No, what do you think you're doing? We're not going over there. I've told you this already." So basically what I've done here is that Luffy, unlike in the original story, doesn't meet Gaiman. So moving on, sailing on, Sabo will mention to his crew that the importance of them getting a more appropriate ship moving on, especially if they're thinking of going to the Grand Line. Ace will mention that how this is a little easier said than done right now, especially considering they lost all the money, all the treasure that they have been saving up until this point. This is where Luffy jumps into the conversation, jokingly saying maybe we'll come across someone who would be kind enough to give us a ship free of charge. The scene will end with Ace saying to his crew that they will see what they can do once they reach the next island. So at Syrup Village, we are now in Syrup Village. We are now in the Usopp introduction scene, where we see him just basically crying wolf, as he usually did within the town. As he's doing that, he's angering the other villagers and making them chase after him, etc. And eventually he meets up with his two friends, Pepper and Carrot. I think those are the correct names. He meets up with his two friends, Pepper and Carrot, and this is where he will ask about where is Onion. But unlike in the original story, Onion will not appear. In the original story, Onion comes running towards Usopp and company because he notices the ships of Nami and Luffy at the time, and he also noticed the Jolly Roger of the Buggy Pirates on Nami's ship. But because this time around it's just one ship coming towards them in a boat with no Jolly Roger on it, he will not see the need Onion will not see the need to rush over to Usopp to inform him of this information. So because there is no appearance of Onion, Usopp, Carrot and Pepper will go off in their attempts to find him. So the ASL pirates arrive at the island, this time with no greeting from Usopp, obviously because Usopp doesn't go to the meeting point to see them, to try and get them to go away. So without no hassle, the ASL pirates will make their way up towards the village, find the diner, and they get talking to some waitresses. And it's during these talks with the waitresses while they're eating as well that they find out there will be no hope of securing a better ship on this village. So they decide that they will rest here for a while before taking to the seas again. So on the other side of the village, Kaya will still be asking for Usopp, but her butler Kalidor will still be showing concern about Usopp and Kaya interacting with each other because he doesn't like it. However, despite his dislike for this, Usopp will still appear to tell stories to Kaya and still be discovered by Kalidor as well. Things will still play out the same, with Kalidor insulting Usopp's dad, which will anger Usopp and end in the results of Usopp punching him in the face. Kaya will still save Kalidor from further punishment before Usopp decides to leave when he is asked to do so. Shortly after this, Kalidor will still bring Kaya food, and this is where we learn that Kalidor has been serving Kaya and her family for 3 years. At the same time this is happening, Carrot, Pepper and Onion have met up and they have discussed between themselves that Usopp must be with Kaya right now and decide to meet up with him later. With the ASL Pirates now, on the other hand, they have run out the diner without paying for their food. So in this what if scenario, the Usopp Pirates would only see Django in passing and not interact with him like they do in the original story. Usopp will go to the same spot that he does in the original story to soak, but this time he won't be joined by Luffy. This means that Usopp will hear everything about Kalidor's plan and he's revealed to be Captain Kuro and that he is after Kaya's fortune. At the same time, Ace, Sabo and Luffy will realize that they have separated from Zoro. He's gone missing. So upon hearing about Kalidor's great plan, Usopp rushes back to the village to alert them of what is going on. While trying to convince the villagers of what he's heard, he also runs into the Usopp pirates, tells them about the situation, and they too help him to spread the word of what is going to go down. During this time, Zoro hears wind of this information while walking through the village, trying to find Ace, Luffy, and Sabo. Eventually, Usopp returns to Kaya's mansions to tell her what Kalidor plans to do, but she doesn't believe him. Because of this, Usopp forcibly tries to take her with him, but is then stopped by her guards, which makes Usopp have to forget about Kaya for the meantime and just focus on his escape. Zoro meets back up with Ace, Luffy and Sabo and tells them about the incoming pirate attack. They all see this as an opportunity to steal some treasure so they can afford their own ship. Luffy suggests during this conversation that they steal the ship of the pirates that is coming. This idea is something that Ace could be behind. He's all up and willing for it, but Sabo is against it because he wants that their first ship to be like their own, something that they have paid for or just crafted together, and it's just really their own and not a second-hand ship basically. So not being able to convince anybody of the incoming pirate attack, when Usopp finally meets back up together with his crew, he tells them that he just made the whole thing up and tells them to go back home just so he doesn't have to worry about their safety any longer. As he does this and as they start to make their way home, Usopp begins to walk within himself, bracing himself to defend the village by himself. While walking, Usopp will bump into the ASL pirates. This is where Zoro will explain to the rest of his crew that this is the guy he heard the rumor from. Ace will shortly after ask if this rumor is true, to which Usopp will respond, yes, that it is true, and follow up by asking why do they want to know about the pirates. Luffy will announce that they are also pirates and that they plan to steal the treasure of the pirates that are incoming. Usopp will be happy at the potential for help and asks if he can tag along, and even suggests that he's got a plan that will make things easier for them. To this, Ace will say that they don't really need a plan, they're just going to wait for the pirates to raid the village, beat up the pirates, find their ship, and steal the treasure and basically be on their way. Usopp will beg and stress that they should really do things his way, stressing the safety of the village and the villagers at hand. To this, Sabo will just step aside to Ace and say, there's no harm in us doing things this way. It might even make things easier for us. So let's just do it his way just to make him happy. And to which Luffy will be in the back nodding enthusiastically. So Ace will be like, alright, fine, we could do things his way. Usopp will be excited by hearing this and lead the ASA pirates to where he overheard Kuro's plan and explain and set up his plan of attack. So at the same time as this is going on, we have Kalidor at home discovering Kaya's present with Mary. So Mary is also present. This is where Kalidor breaks the present, revealing his ill intent. Kalidor still attacks Mary, leaving him heavily wounded. And this is also the time where Kalidor finds out that Usopp knows about his plan. But because it's Usopp and Kalidor doesn't see him as a threat, he thinks pretty much nothing of it. So the Black Cat Pirates strike at dawn. While waiting for their arrival, the ASL Pirates and Usopp will hear a noise coming from the opposite direction. This is where Usopp will realize that he was wrong in assuming that the Black Cat Pirates will surface from where they're at. Ace will have a go at Usopp for this, for not realizing it sooner. This is where Usopp will explain that it's not a problem really, they can still do something to defend the village, they just need to quickly run over to the other side before it's too late. When they decide upon doing this, this is when they will realize that Luffy has already taken off. So on the other side of the island, the Black Cat Pirates start their advance only to be intercepted by Usopp, Ace, and Sabo. Luffy and Zoro have not yet arrived at the area. Not knowing who any of them are, Django will ask why Ace, Sabo, and Usopp stand in their way, to which Usopp will explain to Django that he overheard everything, he knows all about their plan, and will suggest to them that it's in their best interest to leave the island now because he has 10 million followers ready to aid him in this battle if need be. Django will fall for this lie, but the rest of the members of the Black Cat Pirates will know that this is not true. So Django is annoyed with Usopp's lies and tries to hypnotize all three of them, Ace, Sabo, and Usopp, and get them to stand aside. It's during the hypnotism process that Ace and Sabo look towards each other and just question each other about the hypnotism, asking will it work, will it not work. And because they didn't have the eye contact with Django, it doesn't work on these two. But however, because Usopp kept eye contact throughout the whole process, it does work on him, and he does in fact step aside. Ace and Sabo are both shocked that it actually worked. Ace grabs onto Usopp by the shoulders and shakes him, telling him to snap out of it. When he eventually snaps out of it, Usopp's questioning what just happened, to which Sabo fills in the blanks for him. Usopp tells Ace and Sabo to attack the members of the Black Cat Pirates while he provides backup, to which Ace will question how much support can he really be with just his slingshot, to which Usopp, being the scaly cat that he is, shaking and say plenty of support. Ace will then question him even further to say what would Usopp have done if they wasn't on the scene. What was he planning to do when he thought he had to fight the Black Cat Pirates solo, basically. Sabo would then say, this is not the time for this kind of discussion, have it later, we've got work to do right now. With all the interference and talking going on right now, Django gets further annoyed and orders the Black Cat Pirates to advance. This is when Usopp will remember he has cult ropes and is about to throw some down, where Ace and Sabo say don't bother as they advance to fight. So with the Black Cat Pirates moving forward and Ace and Sabo also moving forward, they meet in the middle to start their fight, with Usopp providing backup from the top of the cliff. However, due to the numbers of the Black Cat Pirates that are present, some do make it past Ace and Sabo, make it to the top of the cliff where they attack Usopp. However, Usopp, determined to defend the village, struggles to stop the Black Cat Pirates that have gotten past Ace and Sabo from making their way to the village. So Sabo runs back to help Usopp, but Django is getting more and more annoyed at the fact that they are taking so long right now and encourages the Black Cat Pirates to try even harder. More and more pirates are able to get by now Ace, who is fighting by himself, and eventually making their way up to Sabo and Usopp and still getting past them as well, when it looks like a small decent amount of pirates, Black Cat Pirates, will be free to make their way towards the village. This is where Luffy and Zoro reappear to stop the advance from getting any further. Meanwhile, Kuro's getting impatient and decides to see what is taking the Black Cat Pirates so long. So back on the battlefield, Usopp asks both Luffy and Zoro what took them so long, to which they will both reply, sorry, we got lost. Django will be getting further annoyed at the fact that they are struggling with these children and go on to hypnotize his crew to make them stronger. During this time, Zoro will instruct Usopp to just stand back, leave things to us kind of vibe, and this is when he will realize that Luffy has been hypnotized by Django. Due to his new hypnotized stronger state, Luffy will go on to take out some members of the Black Cat Pirates with a Gum Gatling, like he does within the original story. He will also go on to break the stem post of the Black Cat ship before taking out some more members of the Black Cat Pirates before being put to sleep by Django with his hypnotism. The only difference from this time and in the original story was that it won't be as many Black Cat Pirates, simply because Ace and Sabo would have taken out a good number during the fight before Luffy and Zoro both arrived. After seeing this display, Usopp will comment on how monstrous the strength of ASR pirates are, to which Sabo will comment that he has seen nothing yet, getting Further annoyed, Django will call down the Meow brothers. Back in the village, Onion will notice Kuro walking through the village. Kaya is waking up from a nightmare and shortly after that discovers Mary. This is where she learns the truth about everything that Usopp was saying, that how this was true. She also then decides upon herself that she has to find and stop Kuro. On the other side of things, we have the Usopp pirates. They have gathered all together and they notice that Kaya is making her way through the village. They also realize within themselves that what Usopp said about the attack, the incoming pirate attack, must be true as well. So just like in the original story, the Meow brothers come on down and Django orders them to attack. We still get the whole thing with one of them trying to steal Zoro's swords, which then leads to them starting a fight, and then the other Meow brother hopping in there as well, looking at a double team attack kind of thing going on there. This is where another change occurs though. Sabo will hop into the fight and we have Zoro versus the skinny Meow brother and Sabo more focused on the more muscular, bigger one. So while Zoro and Sabo are fighting with their opponents, Django will think to himself that he will take out Ace, only to shortly realize that Captain Kuro, has finally arrived on the scene. Captain Kuro will be mad and asking what the heck is going on, why is it taking you so long, why are you struggling with these kids, basically just there insulting the Black Cat Pirates, to which the Meow brothers won't take it too kindly to you. They'll be like, yo, who are you to insult us? I know you used to be our captain back in the day, but you have been inactive for 3 years. Who are you to be insulting us? In fact, we're probably stronger than you right now. So the Meow brothers, with all this confidence, will go to attack their former captain, to which Kuro will show them he still ain't no scrub. He will maneuver around them quite easily and show them like, yo, if I wanted to, I could have killed you right now. And this will lead on to Kuro will give the Black Cat Pirates another chance. He'll say, guys, you've got 5 minutes to finish everything up right here. So the Meow brothers quickly advance back on Sabo and Zoro, but it's a quick fight for both of them, with them easily finishing off their opponents. And this is where Sabo and Zoro both trash back to Kuro saying, look, if you're gonna finish us off, you're gonna need more than 5 minutes. So just because we had Sabo helping Zoro along this time, both the Meow brothers are finished off within this instance. In the original story, Zoro is only able to finish off one and then later on finish off the other, but because of Sabo's help, they're both KO'd at the same time, leaving only Django and Kuro as the fighting forces left for the Black Cat Pirates. So with no strong allies left and time running out, Django takes matters into his own hands. Being the closest to him, he decides to take Ace on, but before this fight can get started, Kaya arrives on the scene. So Kaya comes to beg Kuro to spare the village, but Kuro is basically saying, yo, it's my way or the highway. Seeing that Kaya would have no chance in hell in convincing Kuro to do what she wants him to do, she decides to pull a gun on him. Kuro then goes on to talk about just how much he put up with Kaya just so he can enjoy her death and take her fortune. This angers Usopp, who goes to attack Kuro, but Kuro easily dodges and remembers that he owes Usopp a punch from the previous day. Usopp receives a heavy blow to the back, knocking him down to the floor. Kaya screams and cries out for Usopp, and thinking that he is now dead, the Usopp pirates jump out of nowhere and attack Captain Kuro. This annoys Captain Kuro and he attempts to strike down the Usopp pirates, but fortunately for them, this is where Zoro swoops in there and is able to defend them from any harm. Fully pissed off now, Kuro tells Django that he will deal with these brats and that all he needs to do is get Kaya to sign the will and then kill her off. Django tries to proceed, but Ace is unfortunately in his way. Usopp rolls over so now that he's belly up and tells the Usopp pirates to take Kaya and run. Django again tries to get by, but Ace is there to stop him. Ace then goes on to tell Zoro that he should follow the Usopp pirates just in case Kuro becomes a problem for them. Zoro grabs onto Usopp and explains to him it's better if I take you along with me to help me navigate through this area since how you're more familiar with it. As Zoro is trying to walk away, Kuro tries to attack Zoro, but Sabo intervenes. This is where Ace shouts up to Sabo saying, "Oi, like I said I'm gonna deal with Kuro. He's my fight." To which Sabo will respond with sticking out his tongue and say, "Nah, nah, 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 this is my time to shine. You got the last one, you deal with Mr. Glasses down there," obviously referring to Django. Sabo, keeping Kuro occupied, allows Zoro to escape with Usopp. But Usopp Pirate takes Kaya through the forest. However, they have nothing to worry about this time around because they have no one pursuing them. So before Sabo and Kuro start fighting seriously, Kuro just asks him why exactly it is you're getting involved in this village's current affairs. To which Sabo will reply like, "Don't get the wrong idea. We just happen to be in need of some money and some treasure, and your crew just happen to be the unlucky people in this scenario." So they will start fighting again after that, with also Ace and Django also fighting within the distance. So at the same time, the Usopp pirates and Kai will be making their way through the forest, but this time they won't have Django in pursuit. Eventually, Usopp and Zoro will catch up, and it's when they have all caught up with one another, they'll decide that they need to patch up Usopp before finding some place to hide. So Sabo vs Kuro, even with the stealth fort, I reckon that this would be a low difficulty fight. But before their fight would finish, Ace and Django, also a low difficulty fight, will finish first. So unlike after Luffy versus Kuro, Sabo will not faint after his fight with Kuro. Back with Usopp now, Usopp will still have a talk with the Usopp pirates and Kaya without keeping what just happened within the village and the Black Cat pirates to themselves, with the villagers waking up in the morning wondering why Usopp hasn't done his usual lie routine. So the ASL pirates, Usopp and Kaya all regather. By now Luffy has woken up and is sulking about missing the whole battle. Kaya and Usopp both thank them for their help protecting the village, and Kaya will go on to further say that they owe them one, and if there is anything that she can do for them, please let her know. Immediately upon hearing this, Luffy requests a new ship for his crew, but before Ace can shut this offer down by saying, "We didn't really do this for you guys, we don't really need anything in return," Sabo steps to Ace and says, "Maybe we should take advantage of this situation if we can." Surprise to everyone except maybe Luffy, Kaya agrees to giving them a ship as thanks. Still deciding if he wants to go to sea himself, Usopp disbands the Usopp pirates after a very tearful goodbye. A few days later, both Kaya and Merry present the Merry Go to the ASL pirates. Usopp still comes rolling down the hill to say his goodbyes and hopes that they will meet again out at sea one day, but this is where another change occurs. I believe that the reason in the original story that Luffy invites Usopp to join the crew is because he was impressed throughout the interactions that he and Usopp had within the Surf Village arc. But because of this what if scenario, it takes away all, if not most, of these interactions, and it's for those reasons I don't think Luffy would invite Usopp to join the crew within this scenario. Even if in this what if scenario Luffy was even thinking about inviting Usopp to join the crew, I believe Ace would shut this down immediately before the words could leave Luffy's mouth, simply because Ace himself would not be impressed with Usopp's scaredy cat demeanor and his weakness, so he wouldn't want him to be a part of the crew. Sabo and Zoro both return to the merry-go with all the treasure from the Black Cat pirate ship. The ASL pirates and Usopp both say their final goodbyes to Kaya and Merry before sailing off on their next adventure. Alrighty, so the light goal this time around is 5 likes within the week of release, and then the next part will be out the week after that. So just so there's no confusion, I'll have the dates displayed on the screen. So yeah, let's see if we can hit this like goal. And this is where I'm going to leave off for now. So let me know in the comment section, how do you feel about this part? How do you feel that first we lost Nami and now we don't have Usopp on the crew? So I'm very interested to know how you feel about that, and just any other thoughts you have on this what if scenario so far. Always check the end cards for the next part because it might be out depending on when you're viewing this video, obviously. But like always, guys, I'm asking for your thoughts and opinions. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Most importantly, take care. Have a nice day.